Hey guys, it's Crystal and this is the S21 Ultra. And if you're thinking of picking one up, it's probably because of those cameras. Maybe the matte black finish too, but most likely the cameras. I've had a chance to test it out for almost 2 weeks now, so let's see what it can do. Future Crystal here, and let's talk about the future of phone service. I'm super excited to announce my partnership with Visible. They're an online-based Verizon-owned service provider, and whether you just picked up a new S21, looking to buy a new device, or if you simply just need service and you're looking to save some money, Visible is the way to go. It is the year 2021, my friends, where you can literally get anything online with a click of a button. So why should phone service be any different? Now, because there are no stores, you don't have to deal with stores. You can literally do anything and everything online or from your phone. This includes signing up, paying your bill, troubleshooting, and Visible makes it super easy with online customer support and overnight shipping, which is especially helpful during these times. Now, like I said before, it is Verizon owned, so you get all the Verizon goods along with it, like Verizon 5G at no additional cost, unlimited data, messaging, minutes, all for as low as $25 a month. So it's nice to know that you don't have to sacrifice anything or go with a company that you never heard of just to save money. And if you're wondering, Crystal, that sounds good and all, but how much will I actually be saving? Well, they make that super simple too. Just type in what you're paying now, and in seconds, bada bing, bada boom, there are your savings. So if you're thinking of switching over to Visible and you want to learn more about it, check out that link below. And now back into the video. Now let's break down those cameras. We get 5 total, 4 on the back, 1 in the front. We have a 108 megapixel main wide camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 2 10 megapixel telephoto cameras, and 1 40 megapixel selfie camera. No doubt the specs on here are impressive, but you also have to consider camera UI, image processing, and it's those things combined that make a great smartphone camera. And not to spoil things, but I've been really happy with it so far. Now, before we take a look at some of the photos that I've shot, I want to dive into the camera app because I feel like this is truly what makes the whole camera experience so great with this phone. And even comparing it to last year's Note 20 Ultra, there are some new things here. If you dive into that More tab, this is all the different camera features, extra added features and settings that you can use. Now, if you're into the whole AR stuff, there's a whole AR zone, and this is where we get our Memoji equivalent for Samsung phones. And I remember they were a little scary looking in the past, so let's see what they're looking like now. Let's do AR emoji stickers. You can make one from Selfie. Okay, so I don't even have to go and customize it. It'll just do it for me. Position your face in the center of the screen. Once that's done, you can customize his hair, clothes, and accessories. Fun. Oh, well, it kind of got the red hair. I don't know if that looks like me. Does that look like me? Yeah, I guess we share some similar features. I like the champion leggings, I like the shoes, but apparently you do have to buy them if you want to use them. Looks like something I would wear, right? Well, I guess that's a thing, but moving along, we also have portrait photos and portrait video, which used to be called live focus, and is basically the same thing, same effects that we got before, but it does seem to be a little better in the picture area, as you will see when we take a look at those. But right now, let's do a quick portrait video. Portrait selfie video is probably one of my favorite features when it comes to the selfie camera on this phone. And it does seem like it's doing a better job with edges than it was doing with the previous phones, but there's also some effects here you can do as you're recording. So I'm filming and I'm changing them. Ooh, I like this one. I do remember this one. This one's cool. But I also did this outside, so you can take a look at what that looks like. I am loving this. I wish iPhone had this because I feel like it's so perfect for Instagram stories, maybe spice things up a little bit. This is looking really cool. Moving along, if you're somebody who likes to take a little more control over your photos and video, there's also the Pro modes, Pro for photos and Pro video, and Director's View as well, which I actually took a look at in my unboxing in case you missed that. So there's a lot of fun stuff within the camera app, and the more that you use it, the more that you discover things. But something else that I really appreciate is the use of AI to recognize what you're shooting. So if you happen to have a lemon and you want to take a photo of it, it'll use the scene optimizer and it'll recognize that it is a food item. Food mode turns on right away. You don't even have to toggle it on. and take the photo. It looks like it's more vibrant, a little brighter. There's also a focus enhancer. Let's see what that does with this photo. Now, if we turn to this plant down here, it knows that it's a plant. So in short, the camera knows what it's taking a picture of, and this can be turned off. Just toggle off the scene optimizer if you want more control over your photo, but usually it does do a good job at making it look better straight out of the camera. Now, there's a lot of features within the camera app that I do like, but there's also some that I don't use all too often. Single take is one of those, which is kind of like a life randomizer that takes the best highlights or portions of a 5 to 15 second clip. It does a whole variety of different types of shots, and you might get something cool out of it, you might not. So I appreciate it, but it's not something that I use that often. So the camera UI overall is clean, easy to navigate, has a little bit of something for everyone. A lot of things that I would usually go to third-party apps for are included right in it. So if you're someone who likes to keep things simple and you don't want to go through the hassle of going through third-party apps, this is perfect for you. It is photo time. Let's take a look at those photos, and I'm gonna look at them on my monitor because this display is beautiful, but it definitely enhances things. It does tend to make the pictures look a little more vibrant than they actually are. So let's take a look on here, starting with some pictures of me outside. This is just the main wide, and man, the dynamic range is just beautiful. Like, you could see the clouds. I know it was like perfect shooting conditions, but you could see the clouds so nicely in the detail. That's definitely what catches my eye. Obviously, like, the colors all around look great, the green, the red, and my sweater. But yeah, that sky is beautiful. This is an ultra wide picture. Again, there's like really no distorting, really. Like, that tree on the edge still looks pretty nice and straight. But yeah, this looks great too. This is a photo shot with those 108 megapixels toggled on, and it definitely gives you a bigger file size, but the picture itself, when you zoom in, you definitely get a lot more detail in here. Everything is nice and crisp. Look at like the bright area of the picture. Is not really, like, nothing is really blown out at all. It was definitely bright and sunny on the back there. Obviously, I'm in the shade, but damn. Now, instead of going section by section with different types of photos and video, I'm just gonna go through my camera roll. This is exactly how my day went. So let's take a look at this video clip. Let's see what we got here. I'm just sitting outside. Okay, so we get a nice idea of like what that dynamic range holds up with in video. It's looking good. I stand up. That sun in my face is still doing a great job at keeping that detail in there. Pretty nice. Pretty good. It is pine cone time. I took a lot of photos of a pine cone in my hand. This looks really good though. The focusing on there is nice. It's sharp, got some detail. This is with the main wide. Got those nice little bokeh balls on the back. This is not even live, or this is not a portrait picture. This is just straight up. Those bright areas in my hand are nicely exposed. Nothing is overexposed. Everything looks balanced. The colors look beautiful. I don't know. I just think it looks extra good. And the one thing that I will say with like the colors in general, like, is not just the phone's display. They do tend to punch up a little bit. Like, this looks like it was like an edited photo. Like, the blue looks really like poppin'. Yo, what's pop? This is what you get straight out of the camera. These look great. This is a telephoto shot. This is just using the main telephoto, not the periscope telephoto. So this is not super zoom or anything like that. I like how this looks. Okay, let's ignore that. I was trying to toss the pine cone. Didn't work out great. Oh, but I did notice afterwards there's a motion photo setting, which I should have done that when I was tossing that up. Here's another telephoto shot. Again, I can't get over how great the sky looks in these photos. Like, you can really, like, this is a telephoto lens. You can really see, look at the clouds. They look like they're painted onto the sky in this photo. And then switch over to the main wide camera, non-100, it's just a regular main wide photo. Looking great. Now you start to see like the mountains peeking on the back. I love that there's like snowy mountains and then palm trees in the same photo. So crazy. And then ultra wide, you see everything. And again, like, it's still retaining that detail. Like, you're not getting like fuzzy. Obviously you lose a little bit of the crispness in the ultra wide, but wow. Now this is a shot of me standing directly in the sun, so the sun was just blaring right at me, and it's nice that it still retains information in those bright areas. Like, you can still see a great amount of detail in my face. Obviously things do get softer, but it looks great. Again, main wide camera, and then switching to ultra wide, looking great. I almost love the look of this ultra wide picture even more. This is a jumping action shot. That's a great zoom in. Everything looks crisp overall. Like, I'm jumping in the air, and the fact that I'm not blurry is really cool. So here's some portrait shots, and the wind was blowing my hair all over the place. So that's why we do see some weirdness going on the top there. Some blurring because my hair is moving. So those edges, and overall the edges are not perfect. Normally I would take a photo like this into focus on my iPhone to clean up edges. So if you guys know any apps that do that on Android, let me know in the comments below. And here's another video clip with super steady on, so we can see how smooth it is while walking. And again, in the bright blaring sun, but it still does a good job at keeping some of the information in my face. It just does clip a little bit there. But all in all, colors look good. The green, the blue in the background. Yeah, the only thing I would say is, like, I wish I could change the exposure a little, which you can in the pro video mode, but this is just auto with super steady on. Here's our first selfie, and when I took this and saw it for the first time on the phone, I was really impressed because while I was taking it, the viewfinder is a little deceptive because everything was super blown out, overexposed. You couldn't see anything in the sky, but then when you click on it after and look at it, all that post-processing kicks in and the sky comes back and it looks amazing. Again, bright sunny day on the back, and you can see all the clouds back there. Here's an ultra wide selfie. Again, same thing, super impressed with the sky overall. There is some overexposing going on in that bright area, but overall the picture looks great, and I'm holding my hand up for that self timer countdown. I absolutely love that feature with Samsung phones. I wish every phone had that, where you don't have to click the shutter. It's a self timer, but it's easier to toggle with just the movement of a hand. And again, the main thing here is that you don't have to actually press the shutter button to take a selfie or have to toggle on the self timer every single time. You just hold your hand up. Moving along, always have to have a flower pick in there, and this isn't pro mode or anything, just auto, so you can definitely tell that Scene Optimizer is doing its thing because that pink is popping, looking beautiful. We got bokeh for days. And here's a picture of the snowy mountains using super zoom with a second telephoto lens, and we're so zoomed in that it doesn't even look like this was shot on the same day. It's crazy that we can see this far. Don't know how often I will pick this up or use this feature, but it is cool to see and appreciate, because if we look at the next photo, you can get an idea of just how far back I was and how much is zoomed in. If you just like zoom in manually, you can see there's no way you'll get nearly as much detail as this. I'm not sure if those are trees or rock, but it's crazy that we can see that far. Now let's take a look at another super zoom example standing in the exact same spot that I took that mountain picture. Here is this little birdie that I'm gonna zoom into. So this is just, you know, regularly just digitally zooming into a photo. And now super zoom mode. This bird looks so scary zoomed in that much. But yeah, you can even see the little dots on its feathers, the little pointy beak. That bird looks like it could do some damage, honestly. Now, my friends, this is what I would call the shot. The shot that makes me want to carry around this phone just to take pictures with it because it is that good. Like, everything about this photo just looks perfect. The sky is backlit and is still doing a great job at keeping everything beautifully exposed. The grass looks beautiful and detailed. Again, ultra wide picture and still maintaining its crispness. Obviously, if you zoom in, you do see a little bit of softness in my face, but the picture as a whole looks so good. I have a whole bunch of these to show. This one is even better exposed. Everything looks super balanced. Colors look great. Yeah, I just love everything about this photo. Now here's some photos as the sun was starting to set a little bit. Everything's getting a little darker. Temperature wise, things are looking cooler, but still such a beautiful shot. The trees look like a beautiful silhouette with the sun on the back. I walked up a little bit to get the 3 different lens perspectives again. So this is the main wide camera, the ultra wide camera, beautiful, and telephoto zoomed in a little darker, but still the sky looks great. Here's a series of photos of me trying to balance on that little bridge to get a nice photo, and I eventually just decided to sit on it, and there is a shot. I believe this is a shot that I edited the heck out of in Motion Leap and Light Leap, so I'll show you guys that. I went a little extreme with the editing, but it just gives an idea of what you can do with these photos. You can really push it to its limits and get something cool out of it. Here's some more little bridge photos, and I feel like the AI is really kicking in here because it almost looks even brighter. It's still the same time of day where that sun was going down, but this looks like earlier in the day, which is crazy. Looks great, exposed, everything's beautifully exposed. We have some more portrait shots with that blurred background. The sun was a little less intense than in the first ones that I showed. Still doing a great job with detail on my face. Again, that little bit of softness going on. Edges not perfect, but all in all, a great picture. And some of those background effects. It's like that black and white look. I love that. It looks great with the red and the black and white. Here's a good example of the amount of detail that you get with these photos. I almost thought that this was a 108 megapixel shot, but it's not. And it's cool to know that you don't have to shoot with that to get a great looking photo. Here's some quick rapid fire of some of the other cool shots that I got. This one in particular I really like because you can see the little baby plane in the sky. Well, it's not a baby plane, but it looks like a baby plane. But yeah, again, the amount of detail that you get is crazy. Now, if you're wondering what a shot from the S21 Ultra looks like next to a higher end camera like the A7S III, which I mainly use for video, but I do like to use it for photos from time to time. And this isn't a super scientific comparison or anything like that. It's just a quick photo taken on both. So here's what they look like side by side. So overall, this is definitely going to become a phone that I carry around with me just to take photos and videos with because I've had so much fun shooting with it over the past 2 weeks. I'm excited to see what else I capture. And I also will be leaving some high-res versions on Twitter if you guys want to get a better look at some of these photos. But also, let me know in the comments if you want to see me compare this phone to any other phone or a dark mode version of this video. But that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you later. Just enjoying the great outdoors. It smells like grass and greenery.